Welcome to the Seminole Basketball Show with Coach Noah Harrell. Coach, I'm going to take a couple of minutes for people to get to know you a little bit. Then we're going to get into the first 5 games of the season, or first 5 or 6 games of the season, actually. And so you were an assistant for Coach Wilkins. What else should people know about you?
Well, I grew up in Griffin, Georgia, not too far away from Conyers. Graduated from Spalding High School, then attended the University of Georgia, graduated from there. Got on at Salem. Actually, I did my student teaching at Chastity High School. I helped out with their basketball team under Coach Triaga for that semester. Came down to Conyers and did a long-term sub stint at Victory Christian School right down the street off Flat Shoals. And then I got on at Salem as my first full teaching job. I coached the 9th grade that year, and I was an assistant coach on the varsity team. That first year I coached, we went 12-0. That senior class was the class from last year, but that was a bunch of good group of kids who worked hard and ended up taking us to the state playoffs 2 years in a row, which had never happened in our school history. So I did 9th grade for 2 years, I did the JV for 2 years, and now I'm stepped up for the varsity.
Excellent. Well, we're glad to have you at the varsity level. It's been a great season so far, getting started, kind of a balanced season in terms of, of how the team's played. I mean, they've had good games and bad games, and overall, I'd say it's been a pretty good balance. And we're going to start with the season opener. It was a home game, Meadow Creek, outside of region. Walked away with a win, 79-77 in a tight one.
Yeah, it was a very exciting game. A little too exciting for my taste. Actually, last year we played Meadow Creek, and we lost to them on a buzzer beater layup. So we just repaid them the favor, which was nice. But Meadow Creek, athletic, gets up and down. The nice thing about our guys is that a lot of our guys are seniors, so they've been there. They've been in tight games. So it was nice to see them be able to pull out that victory there at the end. They really stuck together in that game. Even though we were down in the fourth quarter, they really came together and really, finished the drill and finished that game off extremely well, and I was very proud of them for pulling that one out because it was our first home game. It was our season opener. We had a nice crowd there, so we were excited that we were able to make it an exciting game for the crowd.
Excellent. The next morning, we got up and went to Berkmar for the Coaches versus Cancer Classic and took on a tough Altoona team. We did.
Now, Altoona, great team. They're already 6-1 now. They were tough last year. They, I think, went 25-4. They were a really good team. They're well coached, plays tough defense. Kind of shot ourselves in the foot several times in that game. Too many silly turnovers. Didn't do very well shooting percentage-wise. We didn't really dictate the pace of that game, which is what we need to do as a team. And it was a slow start for us. It continued that way, But again, that team is a good team. So I was glad to play those two teams out of region before we got into region play because both of those are good tests. Both of them are good teams.
The next morning we got up and we headed to Berkmar for the Coaches versus Cancer Classic. Took on an Altoona team that was a tough team. Walked away, unfortunately, with a 39-55 loss.
Yeah, it was disappointing after the excitement from the night before. We thought we might carry some momentum into that game, but unfortunately we went the other way. Came out a little sluggish, a little tired. But, Altoona team is a good team. They're 6-1 currently. They've gone on a nice little streak after that game, and they last year went 24-5. They were a tough team, or 24-4, but they were a very good team last year. Well coached, played tough defense, really got us out of our game. They slowed it down. We weren't able to push the tempo, which is what we like to do. So with them dictating the pace, it slowed us down, and the score reflects how slow it got down. Yeah. The bright thing is that we were upset with how many points we gave up against Meadow Creek the night before. So the fact that we only gave up 55 in that game was getting to where we want to hold teams at. So not completely there yet, but getting there.
Well, speaking of holding teams to points, we opened up region play at Flowery Branch, and you and I talked after the game, and you told me that you had told the team, keep them at a certain point, and we will win. So what was the point, and what was the outcome?
Well, I set the team goal for 45 points, and we hit it right on the head. They did exactly what I asked of them. Flowery Branch is a team that long trip could have really worn on us, and I'm glad it didn't. We came out strong in that game, and like I said, we dictated. We were able to push the tempo, and with our presses and everything, we were able to hold them down, create a lot of turnovers. They had over 30 turnovers in that game. That really helped us out in that win. We still are shaping ourselves offensively in that game, really trying to find a true identity in terms of offense. But the good thing is that our defense really pushed our offense. So that's why we were able to really push ahead of Flowery Branch and take care of business in that first region win, because that was big with it being the first region game and it being on the road and us capturing that road win.
And then Winder Barrow came up next. They came to Salem, and they got to leave with the loss.
They did. And they actually had the lead in the fourth quarter, which, is good for us, the fact that we were able to come back from that being down in the fourth quarter. But, again, it's a team that, we tried to push the tempo, created a lot of turnovers, but they stuck around. We didn't shoot free throws very well at all that game. They shot them extremely well. They shot 26 of 29 from the free throw line. What we really tried to do in terms of our pressing was, force turnovers, but during that game we caused way too many or created too many fouls, and we got in foul trouble, put them at the free throw line. Them going 26 of 29, really kept them in the game and kept them around. First half we had an 11-point lead, let them stick around, and then they got the lead in the fourth quarter. But again, it's a testament to our guys showing that they can be down, but they can come back and put a team away, and we end up winning by 11. So, again, with a lot of seniors, a lot of experience, these guys at the end of games are doing a good job of finishing, which is, was a good sign, especially since that was another region game, another tough team. We're going to see them again. So it was by our guys to really pull that one out.
And then on Tuesday night, very close. The score doesn't indicate kind of how the game played out, but another win against Loganville at home, 72-63, a 9-point win there.
Yeah, Loganville's tough. They were good last year. They actually knocked us out of the region semifinals last year, beating us at Loganville. We still had a bad taste in our mouth from that. And actually the year before, we had a 27-point lead on Loganville and ended up beating them by 4. And that 27-point lead was in the fourth quarter. So we owed them a win or a beatdown. And unfortunately, we didn't get the beatdown we wanted, but we got the win. But Loganville, the things they do well. They shoot the 3-ball well. One of their players had 26 points. We've got to do a better job of controlling some of their key guys. The other top player had 19. So it was good that those two guys went off and we still were able to beat them. And, I still don't feel like up until this point in time that we've reached our potential in terms of playing our best ball. And the fact that we're not playing our best ball, we're still able to handle these teams, pull away from them, and really put them away at the end. But again, with Loganville, at first they tried to slow it down on us. We started out extremely slow, but once we started picking up our presses and getting them in that half-court trap, that's when we started pushing the pace, and that's when we got some points rolling for us.
And after that win, we headed to Athens and took our first region loss against the word that I come up with is pesky Jaguar team. They were very pesky in that they just kind of kept picking away.
Yes, they're very pesky, very well coached team. Coach Thomas always has his guys ready to play. They play way above their talent. They really, they won the region tournament last year, so they're the defending region champions. That was a game that we really circled, saying that this is a game that we really want. Unfortunately, our play didn't dictate what we wanted. The silver lining in that game is that I feel that was one of our worst games to date, and we still were in it at the end, still had a chance to win that game. So that shows the potential that we have. But again, it's disappointing that we came away with a loss. Another key stat, again, we go 10 for 21 from the free throw line. they go 11 of 12. In a 5-point game, that's a big stat right there. And at this stage in the game, we should be making our free throws. So, that's a little disappointing, but we have shooters that can make these, and so it's just a matter of confidence and me really trying to get with these guys and tell them, hey, this is a free throw. Not difficult. Let's knock them down. I know y'all can do it. I've seen y'all do it in the past, and really try to get them on the right track on that, because we are beating teams going to the free throw line. We just got to beat them there now. So
excellent. So that concludes kind of our recap of the season so far, and a great record overall. Tomorrow night we head to Clark Central, and what can we look forward to there?
It's going to be an up-tempo game. Clark, they try to press the ball. They're right now, I think 6-1 or 7-1. Their only loss coming to Heritage, and Heritage did a good job of slowing them down. But they're a pressing team. They come at you. They are a guard-heavy team, so they like to jack up shots. But they really go because of their press. So they're going to be looking to come up on us, press us, fall back into a man, get in our face. So we have to do a good job of breaking the press and then converting on the other end. That's something that we have the finishers to be able to do that, to get them out of that press. And so that's what we're going to be looking for tomorrow, is really getting through the press, finishing on the other end, and trying to get them out of that press, because one advantage that we do have over them is that they don't really have too many post players, and we have experienced guys in the post, some larger guys in terms of their height in the post that could really do some damage against them. And so that's what we're going to be looking for, is trying to get the ball in the post some more and really trying to push that, break that press, and really finish on the other end. And
we'll have that game tomorrow night here on the GHSA.TV network. Tip-off for the boys will be at 7:30. The girls will have at 6 o'clock as well. And then on Friday night, we head across town. We go to the new gym at Rockdale, and that's going to be a very good game, very highly anticipated game. Anytime that any of the three teams in county meet, what are we looking forward to in that one?
It's a battle of a bunch of seniors. C.J. Wilson, a senior at Rockdale, Dedrick Turner, Marcus McCoy, Jamal Guerra. For us, those guys, grew up playing together, playing against each other. Last year we split in the regular season. We beat Rockdale there. They beat us at home. So always an exciting game between us and Rockdale. Going up and down. We got Division I talent out there. It's exciting, and it's exciting that the community gets around it and sees the kind of rivalry that we have with them. And I'm looking forward to being in the new gym, going against Rockdale. Unfortunate they're not in our region anymore, but it's fortunate enough that we can still play them in our schedule and everything. Really in that game, looking at trying Rockdale, they play man-to-man, they press the ball, they switch it up on us. The nice thing is playing Clark tomorrow night. They're very similar teams, so it's nice to have a kind of a warm-up game where Clark is not a warm-up, but having a similar type team to play the game before is nice.
Excellent. If you can't make it to the game, we will have it on GHSA.TV. If you can make it to the game, nice little instant replay. You can have it on your phone, so you see a little bit of a delay there. And again, tip-off for that one is 8 o'clock? Or 8:30. 8:30 on Friday night for the boys, 7 o'clock for the girls. So we'd love to see you there. We're going to be back here next week for the Salem Seminole basketball show. And for Coach Harrell and James Dennis, more behind the controls, I'm Tom White, and we'll see you later.